The phone glows in the dark. You tap their name. Again, the same thread. Unanswered. Hours pass, and you're still there, scrolling for a sign. Their silence feels like proof. Proof you weren't enough. Each glance at the screen, a quiet plea. For closure, for meaning, for anything. You know it's futile, yet your thumb moves anyway. Slinging to their absence, you think it's control. But it's a loop, a trap you set yourself. Why do you keep searching for answers in their void? You think their silence holds the truth, that their lack of response defines you? But what if it's just noise? Noise you amplify with every check, every hope you let linger. Their absence isn't your mirror, it's theirs. And still, you stare, waiting for a reflection that never comes. Each tap erodes something deeper. Not their image, but yours. Every moment spent on their silence steals from your presence. You don't see it yet, but the weight grows. A subtle ache, numbness creeping in. Not loud enough to cry over, not sharp enough to name, but it's there, behind your chest. Building a wall between you and the life you're still in. The more you chase their meaning, the less you have of your own. Rejection isn't the wound. Your refusal to let go, that's the blade. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." A locked gate doesn't open by staring. It opens when you turn away. Their silence is not your burden, it's their limit. You carry what you choose to hold. And every choice to scroll, to wait, to hope, is a choice to stay trapped. What does it cost you to keep their absence alive? You think you're seeking closure, but are you just repeating the same pain? Look closer. The screen doesn't answer. It never will. Their silence isn't a verdict. It's just silence. And you are still here. Holding the phone, holding the loop, holding nothing. The cycle doesn't break itself. You break it. Or you don't. The choice is quiet, but it's yours. You think their silence means you failed? That their absence proves your worth was never enough? You wait for a sign, a word, a glance. You tell yourself it's patience, control, strength. But it's none of those. It's a trap. You're not waiting for them. You're waiting for you to feel whole again. And every moment you spend on their void, you give them power they don't deserve. Their silence isn't your story. It's theirs. And yet, you keep reading it. What if their lack isn't about you? What if it's just nothing? Not a judgment, not a verdict. Just empty space. You fill it with meaning, with pain, with rejection. You build a cage from their absence and lock yourself inside. Their silence doesn't define you. Your choice to hold it does. Stop. Detach. Their void isn't your truth. You don't owe anything. Action 1. Stop explaining. You draft a message. Fingers hovering over the send button. Words pile up. Sharp, precise, pleading. You need them to understand. To see you weren't wrong. To know you're still worth something. Their silence stings, so you fill it with reasons, excuses, truths they never asked for. Each sentence is a weight you carry, a proof you think will shift their gaze. You call it clarity. It's not, it's explaining. A reflex that binds you to their judgment, as if their nod could free you. Every word you send digs the hole deeper, not for them, for you. Their silence doesn't care about your logic. It doesn't bend to your case. But you keep building it, stacking words like bricks, hoping to wall off the shame. The cost isn't their reply. It's your time, your presence, your edge. Every explanation you offer is a piece of you they don't deserve. You're not proving worth. You're proving dependence. Epictetus said, "You cannot control their opinion, only your response. Their mind is not your battlefield. Your words won't conquer it. Their silence isn't a question. It's a fact. And facts don't need your defense. Stop. Delete the draft. Let their absence sit unanswered. It's not surrender. It's reclaiming your ground. Refrain from filling their void. Say less. The less you give, the more you keep. You don't need their understanding to stand. Their silence isn't your verdict. Each unsent word is a step towards silence. Not the kind that hurts, the kind that holds, that builds, that lets you breathe without their shadow. You've explained enough. Now, let it go. You don't owe anything. The air shifts, heavy with what you didn't say. That pause, it's not empty, it's yours. Now, another reflex waits to be cut. Action 2. Break the checking loop. The screen pulls you in. 2 a.m. Their profile glows. You swipe through stories, posts, timestamps, looking for a trace, a hint they're thinking of you, or not. Each scroll feels like progress, like you're solving something, but you're not. You're circling, trapped in a loop of checking. Their absence isn't a puzzle, yet you keep piecing it together, hoping for a shape that makes sense. It doesn't. It never will. Every refresh costs you. Not sleep, not time, but presence. Each glance at their life pulls you out of yours. Numbness settles in, quiet at first, then heavier. You don't notice the weight until you're carrying it everywhere. Their silence isn't speaking. You're the one giving it a voice that drowns your own. The loop doesn't end because they post. It ends when you stop. Imagine a locked door. You knock, no one answers. You knock again, harder. The door stays shut. Knocking doesn't open it. Walking away does. Their profile isn't a door. It's a mirror, reflecting your clinging. Withdraw. Close the app. Turn off the screen. Let the silence be theirs, not yours. Break the loop. It's not about them. It's about you, choosing to be here. The urge will return. It always does. But you don't have to answer it. Each time you resist, the loop weakens. Each time you turn away, you reclaim a piece of your edge. Their life isn't your map. Yours is. Start reading it. The void is where it clears. A breath. The screen stays dark. That choice lingers. Another trap waits to be broken. Action 3. Release the need to be seen. A mirror hangs in their silence. You stare, waiting for your reflection, for them to notice, to acknowledge, to see you. You shape your words, your moves, your life, hoping they'll turn. They don't. You're still there, holding your breath for their gaze. It's not hope, it's attachment, a quiet plea for their eyes to validate what you already are. Their blindness isn't your fault, but your waiting is. Each moment you spend seeking their nod, you lose ground. Not to them, to yourself. Emptiness grows, not because they don't see, but because you're begging to be seen. Their gaze won't fill the void. It never could. You're chasing a shadow that isn't yours. The cost isn't their indifference. It's your absence from your own life. Invisible to yourself, you fade while they walk away. Seneca said, "You have no need to be seen by others, but to live in agreement with yourself." A tree doesn't grow to be admired. It grows to stand. Their eyes aren't your roots. Detach. Stop shaping yourself for their view. Let their silence be a blank wall, not a mirror. Release the need. Be here, not for them, for you. Their absence doesn't erase you, unless you let it. Each step you take without their gaze is a step toward cold peace. You don't need their light to shine. You never did. Detachment is a form of respect. The room quiets. Their shadow fades. Another reflex calls for your attention. Action 4. Pause before reacting. Their name lights up your screen. A message. A post. A nothing. Your pulse spikes. Fingers itch to reply, to act, to fill the space they left. You feel the pull, urgent, sharp, familiar. It's not a choice. It's a reflex. Reacting before you think. Diving into their silence like it's a fire you can put out. You call it instinct, but it's chaos. A trap that hands them your control. Every impulse you follow costs you, not their response, your center. The rush buries you in anxiety. A storm you stir yourself. Their words don't demand your speed. You do. Each snap reaction is a thread you tie to their absence. You think you're fighting back. You're not. You're sinking. The weight isn't their silence. It's your haste. Pause. One breath, then another. Their move isn't your cue. You don't owe an answer. Not now. Not ever. Epictetus wrote, "You have the right to pause." Oh, a river doesn't rush to meet the stone. It flows around it. Hold the line. Stay still. Let their silence sit untouched. The urge will scream, but it fades. Each pause builds your edge. Each breath is a wall against their pull. You don't need to answer to exist. You don't have to react. A frozen lake, no ripples. Your breath, the only sound. The silence holds. Another fault line waits to crack. Action 5. Stop chasing closure. You sit with their silence, waiting for an answer, a reason, a final word to tie the loose ends. You think it'll free you. Explain why they left, why you weren't enough. You draft messages in your head, questions you'll never send. You replay their last words, searching for the key. It's not there. Chasing closure is a loop, one you run alone. Their absence isn't a door you can unlock. Every question you ask tightens the knot. Not theirs, yours. Regret festers, not because they won't speak, but because you won't stop asking. Their silence isn't hiding truth. It's just silence. You give it power by chasing what it can't give. The cost isn't their answer. It's your peace, eroded by a hunt that leads nowhere. You don't need their words to end the story. You think closure comes from them. It doesn't. It's a trap. Their reasons won't heal you. They'll only shift the pain. Seneca said, "What need is there to weep over parts of life? The whole of it calls for tears. Withdraw. Stop seeking their why. Let their silence be a blank page, not a riddle. Disengage from the chase. The end is where you choose to stop. Their absence doesn't owe you, meaning you owe yourself presence. Each step away from their silence is a step toward your own. You don't need their answer to close the door. Let go isn't weakness. The air settles. Their silence fades to nothing. Another pull waits to be cut. Action 6. Observe the impulse. The urge hits. Sharp. Sudden. Text them. Call them. Prove you're still here. Still enough. It's late. The room is quiet, but your mind races. You feel the pull to reach out, to fix the silence, to make them see you. It's not a plan. It's instinct. Please, cling. A voice inside screams, do something, anything. You think acting will quiet it. It won't. It's a trap, one you set. Each time you follow the urge, you lose. Not their reply. Your ground. Shame creeps in, soft at first, then heavy. Not because they don't answer, but because you keep asking. The impulse isn't your guide, it's your chain. You don't notice it until it's tight. Their silence doesn't pull you. Your need to fill it does. The cost isn't their distance, it's your drift from yourself. What if you didn't move, just watched? Witness the urge rise and fall. It's not you, it's noise, Epictetus said. You are not your thoughts, but the one who observes them. A storm doesn't own the sky, it passes. Observe the impulse. Don't touch it. Breathe through it. 5 seconds. 10. Let it fade. Awareness is your edge, not action. The urge will come again. It always does. But each time you watch, you weaken its grip. Each time you stay still, you build silent power. You don't need to act to exist. You already do. Stillness is enough. The pulse slows. The urge quiets. Another weight waits to be shed. Action 7. Unhook from their judgment. You shrink under their gaze, real or imagined. Their silence feels like a verdict. You adjust your words, your steps, yourself to dodge their scorn. You hide your edges, soften your truth, hoping to pass their test. It's not living, it's suppressing, denying who you are to fit their frame. You think it shields you from their judgment. It doesn't. It chains you to it. One shrinks and loses ground. Fear drives it, not them. Their opinion isn't a blade. Your need for their approval is. Each time you bend, you chip away at your presence. You don't see it, but the mirror cracks. You're not hiding from their eyes. You're hiding from yours. The cost isn't their rejection. It's your erasure. You trade your truth for their nod and get neither. One stands and holds the line. Their gaze doesn't define you. Marcus Aurelius said, "The opinion of others is their concern, not yours." A stone doesn't shift for the wind. Unhook. Let their judgment fall, weightless. Speak your truth. Walk your path. Not for their eyes, for your own. Detached strength is your root. Their silence can't touch it. You don't need their approval to exist. You never did. Each step you take, unbent, is a step toward ground. Their judgment is noise. You are the signal. Pain doesn't mean truth. The air clears. Their gaze dissolves. Another anchor waits to be cut. Action 8. Refrain from proving. You build a case. In your head, in your actions, in your life. You work harder, shine brighter, live louder, to show them you're enough. Their silence feels like a challenge. So, you answer it. With success, with strength, with proof. It's not growth. It's explaining, attaching your worth to their eyes. You think proving will close the wound. It doesn't. It deepens it. The system fails every time. Their silence doesn't see your effort. It doesn't care. But you keep running, chasing a nod that won't come. Invisible. You burn out. Not because they don't notice, but because you need them to. The cost isn't their indifference. It's your center. Lost in a race, you can't win. You're not proving strength. You're proving their hold. Rebuild the system. Start with you. Seneca said, "What matters is not what you bear, but how you bear it." Their gaze isn't your measure. Step back. Stop performing for their shadow. Live for your truth, not their verdict. Release the need to prove. Rule-based, you stand. Their silence can't pull what you don't offer. You don't need their eyes to be whole. Each choice to refrain builds your edge. Their absence doesn't define you. Your presence does. You can end without drama. A man waited years for an apology. He grew old in the waiting. One day, he stopped. His silence became his power. The weight lifts. Another loop waits to be broken. Action 9. Silence the need to respond. Their message lands, or their silence screams. You feel the tug. Reply. Engage. Defend. Show you're still here, still relevant. Your fingers hover, ready to fill the gap. It's not a choice. It's a reflex, reacting to their presence or their absence. You think responding proves your strength. It doesn't. It's please. A quiet surrender to their pull. Their move shouldn't move you, but it does. Each response you give feeds the cycle, not their words. Your anxiety. You answer to quiet the noise, but it grows louder. Their silence isn't a question, yet you treat it like one. The cost isn't their reply. It's your peace, traded for a moment's relief. You don't gain ground by answering. You lose it. Their game doesn't need your play. Epictetus said, "There is only one way to happiness, to cease worrying about things beyond your control. Their words, their silence, are not yours to fix. Silence your need. Hold the line. Let their message sit unanswered. Let their absence stand untouched. Non-reaction is your shield, not a retreat, a reclaiming. You don't need to respond to exist. Each unanswered urge builds your edge. Their silence isn't your stage. Your presence is enough." Silence isn't surrender. The room stills. Their pull weakens. Another chain waits to be shed. Action 10. Walk away from their narrative. Their story plays in your head. A script where you're the fault. The one who failed. The one not enough. You live in it. Replaying their words, their silence, their exit. You argue with shadows. Rewrite scenes. Try to change the ending. It's not memory. It's holding on. Deaning your own truth to fit their frame. You think living in their narrative explains the pain. It doesn't. It fuels it. Each moment you spend in their story, you lose your own. Isolation grows, not from their absence, but from your absence in your life. Their script doesn't hold answers. It holds you. A prisoner to a plot you didn't write. The cost isn't their version of you. It's the version you're not living. You don't need their story to make sense. You need yours to begin. Their narrative is a house built on sand. It collapses under your weight. Marcus Aurelius said, "The soul is dyed by the thoughts it chooses." Walk away. Let their story crumble, untouched. Write your own, line by line. Not to prove them wrong, to prove you're here. Let go of their frame. Centered, you stand. Their script can't hold what you don't give. You don't need their story to be whole. Each step away builds your ground. Their narrative isn't your truth. Your presence is. Not doing is power too. The page turns. Their story fades. Another weight waits to be released. Action 11. Hold nothing against them. Their silence burns. You clench it like a coal. Blame, resentment, questions that loop. Why did they leave? Why weren't you enough? You carry their absence. Heavy, sharp, constant. It's not justice. It's regret. Suppressing the truth to keep the wound alive. You think holding their fault proves your worth. It doesn't. It traps you in their shadow. Each grudge you grip costs you light, not their peace, yours. Grief festers, not because they left, but because you won't. Their actions aren't your chain. Your refusal to release them is. The weight isn't their wrong. It's your hold. You don't gain strength by blaming. You lose it. Their silence doesn't owe you repair. You owe yourself freedom. Seneca said, "Anger is an acid that destroys the vessel that holds it." Their fault isn't your burden. Hold nothing. Let their actions sit, weightless. Release the coal. Not for them, for you. Cold peace grows where resentment dies. Their absence can't touch what you don't carry. You don't need their fault to stand. Each release clears your ground. Their wrong isn't your truth. Your presence is enough. You don't owe anything. The air lightens. Their shadow thins. Another reflex waits to be undone. Action 12. Be here, not there. Your mind drifts. back to their words, their look, their exit. You replay the scene again and again. Each detail sharpens, each moment stings. You're not living now. You're living there, overthinking their past, escaping your present. You think revisiting will solve it, explain it, fix it. It doesn't. It's a loop pulling you from where you stand. Each replay steals your ground. Numbness creeps in, not from their absence, but from your absence here. You don't notice, but the world fades. Colors dull. Sounds mute. You're not healing, you're hiding. In a moment that's gone. The cost isn't their memory, it's your presence. You don't need their past to define you. You need now. Be here. One breath. Feel the air. The chair. The quiet. Seneca said, "You live as if you were destined to live forever. Their past isn't your home. This moment is. Witness the drift. Pull back. Stay still. The present holds you, if you let it. You don't need their yesterday to claim today. Each breath anchors you. Their memory isn't your place. This is. Stillness is enough," Seneca wrote in exile. Alone, he chose his thoughts over his chains. His words outlived empires. The moment clears, another fault waits to be severed. Action 13. See without reacting. Their silence lands, heavy, cold, or their words strike, sharp, sudden. You feel the urge to answer, to fight, to fill the void they left. It's instant, a spark that demands action. You think responding will settle it, prove it, end it. It won't. Reacting is a trap, handing them your power, chasing their move with yours. Their silence shouldn't stir you, but it does. You think their action needs your reply. It doesn't. Each response you give feeds pain, not theirs, yours. You don't see it, but the cycle spins. Their words, their absence, they're not your chain. Your reflex is. The cost isn't their move. It's your center, lost in the rush to match it. You don't need to counter their silence. You need to stand in yours. Their move seems to demand you. It's a lie. Epictetus said, "What need is there to answer what is not a question? Their silence isn't a call. It's noise. See it. Don't touch it. Observe their absence without moving." Non-reaction is your edge, not weakness. Silent power. Let their move pass, untouched. You don't need to react to be whole. Each choice to see builds your ground. Their action isn't your truth. Your stillness is. You don't have to react. You've seen their silence and chosen not to stir. The urge to react still lingers, faint, but there. It whispers, one more message, one more glance, one more proof. But you know the trap now. Each choice to pause builds a wall. Not against them, against the old you. The one who chased, who explained, who clung. Their absence isn't your stage anymore. This moment is. The weight of their judgment. It's lighter now. You don't carry it. You don't need to. Their story, their silence, their exit, they're just facts, not verdicts. You've stopped filling their void with your pain. Stop letting their shadow cast yours. Each action, each refusal to react, carves a space, a quiet one, where you stand, not for them, for you. Marcus Aurelius said, "The soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts." Your thoughts. They're clearer now, not clouded by their absence, not twisted by their words. You see the impulse. You witness the pull. and you let it pass. Like a cloud across a sky, it moves. You don't. That's your edge. That's your presence. The work isn't done. It never is. The urge will return. Their silence will echo. But you're not the same. You've built something. A frame. A system. Rule-based. Cold. Yours. Each time you choose stillness, you strengthen it. Each time you attack, you sharpen it. Their absence can't break what you don't offer. You don't need their eyes to see yourself. You don't need their voice to hear your own. The ground beneath you, it's solid now. Not because they left, because you stayed. Silence isn't surrender. Two voices in the dark. One begs, text them. Just once. The other replies, number I'm enough. The first fades, the second stands. The space you've carved, it's not empty, it's alive. With your breath, your choices, your presence. You've stopped chasing their shadow, stopped letting their silence steer you. Each refusal to react, each moment you stay still, builds something stronger. Not a wall, not a shield, a foundation. You're not running from their absence. You're standing in your own light. Their silence used to scream. Now it's just a hum. You don't need to answer it. You don't need to fix it. You see it for what it is. Nothing. Not a verdict, not a wound, just air. The old urge to fill it, to explain, to prove, to cling. It's fading. You've rewired the system. Cold, clear, rule-based. You don't move because they don't. You move because you choose. Epictetus said, freedom is not the absence of commitments, but the ability to choose. You're free now, not because they're gone, but because you've chosen yourself. Witness the pull when it comes. Let it pass. Hold the line. Each choice to detach is a choice to stay whole. Their absence can't touch what you don't give. The path isn't smooth. It never is. Their echo may return, a message, a memory, a flicker of doubt, but you've seen the trap. You've walked it before. Now, you walk away. Not with anger, not with pain, with silent power. Your ground is yours. Their silence can't claim it. You don't need their truth to live your own. You don't need their eyes to see your path. The foundation holds because you built it. Detachment is a form of respect. Your foundation holds solid, quiet, yours. Their silence no longer shakes it. You've stopped building bridges to their absence, stopped pouring your presence into their void. Each choice to stay still, to not chase, to not react, has sharpened your edge. You're not waiting for their answer anymore. You're not waiting at all. You're here, whole, unmoved. The old loops, they're faint now. The urge to check, to explain, to prove. It flickers, but it doesn't pull. You see it. You let it pass. Like a shadow across your path. It moves. You don't. That's your strength. Not loud, not showy. Silent power. Their absence isn't your story. It's theirs. And you've stopped reading it. Marcus Aurelius said, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." Their silence was your obstacle. Now it's your teacher. Each time you attack, you learn. Each time you pause, you grow. Their absence didn't break you. It showed you what you're made of. Cold peace. Not fragile, not fleeting. Built. The work isn't over. It never is. Their echo may stir again. A glance, a word, a memory. But you've seen the trap. You've walked through it. Now, you choose. Not their silence, not their judgment. You hold the line. Your ground is yours, not theirs to claim. You don't need their presence to hold your own. You don't need their voice to know your truth. The path is clear because you cleared it. Pain doesn't mean truth. The path you've cleared, it's yours now. Not their silence, not their shadow. You've stopped letting their absence steer your steps. Each choice to detach, to pause, to be here has built something unshakable. Not a mask, not a shield, a truth. You're not hiding from their void. You're standing in your own light. Their silence can't touch you because you don't reach for it. The old traps, they're ghosts now. The need to check, to prove, to fill their quiet with your noise. They flicker, but they don't hold. You witness them. You let them fade. Like a wave that never reaches shore, they break before they touch you. That's your edge. Not force, not fight. Non-reaction. Their absence isn't your chain. Your choice to stay free is. Seneca said, "True happiness is to enjoy the present without anxious dependence on the future." You're not waiting for their answer or their regret. You're not waiting at all. Breath. Feel the air. The quiet. The weight of your own presence. This is your ground. Not theirs. Hold the line. Their silence is just to air. Not your burden. The echoes may return. They always might. A name, a memory, a pull. But you've seen through the noise. You've built the system. Cold, clear, yours. Each time you choose stillness, you deepen it. Each time you let go, you rise. Their silence isn't your cage. Your choice is your key. You don't need their gaze to see your worth. You don't need their words to know your place. The ground holds because you hold it. You don't have to react. A man stood at a cliff's edge. The wind howled, but he didn't step back. His stillness was his answer. Your ground is steady, not because they're gone, but because you stayed. Their silence no longer pulls. It's just there. A fact, not a wound. You've stopped chasing its meaning. Stopped letting its weight define you. Each choice to witness, to detach, to be here has carved a space. Not for their absence, for your presence. You're not filling their void anymore. You're filling your own. The old reflexes, they're shadows now. The urge to explain, to check, to react, they rise, but they don't rule. You see them, you let them pass. Like leaves on a river, they drift. You don't follow. That's your power. Not loud. Not forced. Silent power. Their silence isn't your story. It's theirs. And you've stopped living in it. Epictetus said, "You are not your passions, but the one who watches them." You're the watcher now, not the chased, not the chained. Breath. Feel the quiet, the weight of your own choice. Hold the line. Their absence can't touch what you don't give. Non-reaction is your root, deep, unshaken. The echoes may stir. A name, a memory, a flicker. But you know the system. Cold, clear, yours. Each time you pause, you strengthen it. Each time you let go, you free yourself. The silence isn't your cage. Your choice is your key. You don't need their answer to know your worth. You don't need their presence to claim your own. The space you've built, it holds you now. Stillness is enough. The space you've claimed, it's not a victory, it's a truth. You've stopped letting their silence shape you, stopped giving their absence your weight. Each choice to stay still, to detach, to see, has built something real. Not a story, not a shield, a foundation. You're not running from their void. You're standing in your own presence. Their silence can't touch you. because you don't touch it. The old traps, their echoes now. The need to prove, to chase, to fill their quiet with your noise. They flicker, but they don't hold. You witness them. You let them fade. Like a storm passing over, it moves. You don't. That's your edge. Not force, not fight. Cold peace. Their absence isn't your chain. Your choice to stay free is. Seneca said, while we wait for life, life passes. You're not waiting anymore. Not for their answer, not for their gaze. Breath. Feel the air, the quiet, the weight of your own ground. Hold the line. Their silence is just silence, not your burden. Non-reaction is your strength. Not a retreat, but a reclaiming. The path continues. It always will. Their echo may return. A word, a memory, a pull. But you've seen the system. You've built it. Cold, clear, yours. Each time you pause, you deepen it. Each time you let go, you rise. Their silence can't claim what you don't offer. You don't need their truth to live your own. You don't need their eyes to see your path. The ground holds because you hold it. You don't owe anything. The phone lies face down. The room is still. No hum of notifications. No glow of their name. Just air heavy with quiet. You didn't check this time. Didn't chase. Didn't fill their silence with your weight. The urge came. Sharp. Familiar. But you let it pass. A breath. Another. The world didn't shift. But you did. That pause. It wasn't empty. It was yours. A moment you didn't give away. Their absence didn't pull you. You held your ground. Not with force. Not with noise. With presence. The kind that doesn't need their eyes. Doesn't need their voice. The kind that stands alone. Unbent. What changes when you stop waiting for their answer? Their silence isn't your chain. It never was. You don't need to solve it to be whole. You don't need their nod to be here. Stillness is where you begin.